Hello, welcome to Celebrity Spotlight Radio. Today I have an exclusive interview with the director and the cast of the upcoming international extraordinary South African caper heist comedy feature film, The Umbrella Men, which was selected for the Toronto International Film Festival set for September 10th, 2022. Welcome, director John Barker and the cast members, Jaques da Silva, Shamilla Miller, and Keenan how do you spell his name? Arrison. Okay.
Arrison.
To the show. To the show.
Whoa.
Okay. So John, actually everybody, as a group, how excited are you for this amazing film?
Oh my God, so excited.
Exactly like that.
John, I'm gonna tell you something. When they send me the film, right, I normally don't look at the synopsis. I don't read anything. I just watch the film. So when I saw the name, The Umbrella Men, in my mind, I'm thinking, oh no, here we go, another horror movie, or because the umbrella man, like the men, that term comes from the assassination of John F. Kennedy, because there was there was a guy with an umbrella walking around the whole time, and everybody, thought that was like kind of weird. So, but thankfully, when I saw the film, first of all, John, congratulations, and a job well done in directing.
Thank you so much.
Such an amazing film and visual. Wow. Outstanding. I want to talk about the cinematographer because the visual part of it was just wonderful. How long did this whole feature take to shoot? And was it your intention to capture that whole visual too?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for the intro. Thanks for having us on your show. The cinematographer is a guy called Mateo Moeng, who's a very talented young man, young in terms of cinematography because I think he's only in his 30s, probably late 30s. And he's done a number of films in South Africa. And he just felt like we worked together on a sketch comedy show a few years ago. And his sensibility and his lighting, and also just him as a human being, his attitude to life is fantastic. And I thought that going into this thing with, when you jump into the abyss of the filmmaking abyss, it can be a tough thing. And the worst thing is to have somebody that you're not on the same page with. And because we'd worked together, I kind of knew that Mateo would be cool. But I actually was, strange enough, I wanted the film to be beautiful, and we had a lot of time together. We had about 6 weeks together. I did a lot of storyboards, and we worked really hard together. But actually, he actually did a better job than I could ever imagine. The film is more beautiful than I imagined, and that really is testament to him.
Well, I never been to Cape Town, and I felt like I was there, and the beauty of it was just to the extreme. And I was very glad to have watched that film. How long did it take you to pull this off, and how did you get such an amazing cast together?
Well, I was very fortunate that this has been a labor of love for a long time, and that we tried to make this film about 14 years ago. And since then, every year I've been trying to make it, but for a number of reasons, it hasn't happened. So I guess in that way, we've had a long time to think about it. We've had a lot of people involved, and a lot of people have fallen out. But yeah, so we just, it's like I told these actors, they've heard this before, but I tried every year to try and force this film, trying to force this film, let's make it. And for some reason, it didn't happen. And it literally was when I was on set, I realized that actually the film was waiting for all of these actors and this crew, Mateo and everybody, to be together in order just to make the film. So it took a long time, but yeah, it was right. When I think back now, 15, 14 years means nothing, because at the end of the day, we've made this fantastic film that we're so proud of. And in terms of the production, we had 4 weeks to shoot, which is not a lot of time. You know, I wish we'd had more time. And if we do another one, we're definitely going to push for more time. But we had 4 weeks, a couple of longer weeks, longer time in pre-production, and then we just amazing to have these young actors who I've met over the last couple of years, and just did a fantastic job on the film.
Well, all the actors definitely had chemistry, and Jake, you played Jerome, and Shamilla played Keisha, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to I want to tell you something. You both had great chemistry on the screen. It was wonderful, and I want to know, how was it working together, because you both had wonderful chemistry, and did you feel good about filming in Cape Town?
I feel like filming in Cape Town is phenomenal. It's such a beautiful city, and there's something about the energy here that's just like electric and contagious. And you walk outside and you just smell that air and you feel the energy and you're in a good mood. So I think shooting in Cape Town is always fun. And then if I talk on the chemistry, you know what? Jacques and I, we get along, and we kind of knew each other, not really that much before production, but we became family so quickly. Like, we hung out every day. We were excited to go to work. Like, everything about how the beginning stage of the film started slotting together was just so beautiful. And then, so we did have natural chemistry, but we put some work in, we did some exercises, we touched our tummies, and we did make sure that those scenes where we had to be more intimate worked, and that the energy that we were producing was palpable through the screen, and a lot of work went into that, and we're just happy that it paid off. I was saying the other day how the first time that Jacques and I saw the kissing scene one day in the studio a couple of months ago, I think it surprised even us. We were like, "Huh, damn, what's going on over here?" So,
it looks great.
we were like, "Oh my God, it looks so good."
What do you say about that, Jacob? What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, about shooting in Cape Town, what John was saying about the timing, we were also shooting in COVID, right? Where I think we had access to crew that I think in the normal circumstances we might not always have had, because Cape Town is a big location for international, tons of international movies, national series, who kind of get first choice in terms of the cream of the crop, in terms of crew. And I think our timing was beautiful, and that we all of a sudden we had access to internationally renowned crew from left to right, you know, hair and makeup all the way to lighting and everything else. So that was a blessing. Yeah. And then what was lovely with working with Shamilla is that we were able to put in the work, to be totally respectful of each other and each other's processes. So the rules were in place so we could play. And John totally created such a beautiful, safe space for us to go, you safe? Okay. Now you know where the boundaries are. Let's see what you can color in between.
That's good that a director does that, because I've worked with directors that actually give the actors that opportunity to just go with it, you know, because I have a friend, Ted Kotcheff, who stated one time to me that they're actors, Antonio. I let them do their job, and that's act. And he's absolutely right, because and you two came off great on the set. I was like thinking, did you guys work together before? Never?
We had done one commercial like a few years before, and even then I think it was just the like tail end of the commercial that we were in the same frame together. So we didn't even really hang out that day on set. I think we were like getting married or something, and I saw him at the end at the altar for a second in the commercial. So we had worked together, but not really. I don't know if we're gonna count that one, Jacques.
Well, let me tell you some special victims unit. A long time ago when that show first started on television, the showrunner and executive producer Ted Kochik was one who found Chris Maloney and Mariska Hargitay, and he's actually the one that got them together. And they actually read together during the audition, and they worked before, but a long time ago. But they had such chemistry that's how they got the part.
Wow.
So now look at them now, right? So chemistry is very important when it comes to what the camera picks up, and obviously the audience love them and still love them to this day. So I fell in love with both of you, and it
Awesome.
was great. And you gave a lot of, for me, it was the film. Everyone was great. Comedy was great, and even Keon, you were absolutely amazing. And they say you're the bad boy, and I look at Jerome. Well, he was like the instigator too. But I don't want to give away the movie because I hate doing that. I want people to go into the movie fresh like I did. But how did you connect and prepare for this particular role?
Sorry, is that me?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Well, I think obviously I knew what John was going for. I was a part of the proof of concept like years before, and I think every time I saw John, I sort of had an idea of where he's going with it, what the characters were doing and where they're going, where they live, and what the space is that they're in. I don't know. Did I do much prep work? I don't know. I'm not sure. But
it looked like
it was so much fun. It didn't feel like we were working, and we've been bringing it up all the time, is that we've had so much fun on the set and again, it comes down to John creating that space for us. And John had this amazing sort of shorthand with us in his directing that I think he'd say one thing and we'd all just get it, and I think it's because he's had a relationship with each and every one of us individually leading up to the sort of principal photography. I mean, I've never been to prison before, but I could certainly draw from like other films and people that I might know that have been to prison. But I think John made it very easy for me to step into that role. So yeah, it's all credit to John.
Yeah, well, you did a wonderful job. John, what was the most difficult scene that you had to shoot in the film?
Well, the most difficult, funny enough, you're talking about chemistry, and you're so right. First of all, with chemistry, we are so lucky because we cast, I think the film has been beautifully cast. We got the right people. Chemistry was absolutely amazing. But you've been around, you've been in the industry. You can often think that something's going to work, and you get there, and it's terrible. There's no chemistry. And then for this film, exactly like you said, it all hinged on the romance. It had to be a thing of Jerome not falling in love with Keisha, but that happening over time. Then him having this dilemma with whether he tells her about it. If he tells her that he's robbing her bank, he's going to lose her. If he doesn't, they're all going to end up in jail. So he's in a huge dilemma. And the audience are watching this, but it was so key that Shamilla, first of all, didn't seem like when she found out, she was angry, told him to F off, which broke her heart. But you wanted her to come back and save the day. And when she comes back, I think we've told the film hopefully well enough that you're rooting for her, you're rooting for them, and you're like, yeah, she comes back and she saves them. So chemistry and their relationship was so important. So one of the toughest days we had was in the schedule, we had put Shamilla's apartment all obviously on one day. And as it happened, and Shamilla always takes the mickey out of me because she always says, John, there's too much kissing scenes. We're kissing too many times. She kept telling me. And she's right.
Every
So,
single scene, I was like, why are we kissing again? Our faces are like numb by the end of the day.
and I didn't see that. It's so weird. I was like, when she was saying it in the beat, I was like, what do you mean you kiss all the time? But when I look back at it, we had made them kiss all the time. So, but on that day, there was about 6 scenes in the apartment, and 5 of the 6 were long kissing scenes. We put a circular track. We put the 2 of them on the circular track with the camera, and we sped around the track for hours. For many takes with them kissing and kissing and kissing. So that was a tough day. We had to pull that off, and everyone was exhausted after that day because it was emotionally.
And how much of that shot is in the movie? Like a second and a half. Yeah.
Well, in the 3-hour version, it was about 30 seconds. It was very adult.
Unfortunately, that's what usually happens.
Yeah.
I could go on forever on scenes that on movies that you'd be like surprised that you're like only a little bit of it is like 30 seconds of it is in the scene.
Exactly.
And it took days to film.
Yeah.
And then people look at it and they go, "That's it? What?"
Yeah, exactly. It's so true. That's the joy of working with actors, like these 3 actors, that they're so professional. They just went back, take after take after take, no problems. No one ever had an issue. Just truly blessed with really professional actors, very talented. And I guess the other tough day would be was involved with Keenan and with Jaques. It was in the tunnels. The tunnels were very tough to shoot. Again, that only plays a small part in the film, but we had snakes and cockroaches and foul smells and slipping on the moss in the half barrel tunnels. So that was the other tough day.
Yeah, I could imagine. I get claustrophobic, and I go in tunnels, and I'm an aerospace engineer before the entertainment business, so I used
That's so cool.
Planes and all that stuff, and I was, and I got over it. I jumped out of a plane to get over, fear of heights and all that stuff. So I just had to do it. But I could imagine, it took me a long time for the cave thing because I used to go to Dominican Republic, and I used to go underneath, the water and go into these hidden caves, all the time. I don't do that anymore because a lot of people have died like that, and I just don't do that way. But I could imagine you shooting in caves with actors. I don't know if there's like an insurance thing on production side over in Cape Town, but that must have been costly, right? If you think about it, because anybody could get hurt. So
they were. Yeah, exactly. There was a kid, the tour guides who took us down to the tunnels. When we did the recce's, we almost didn't get that day to shoot because, first of all, if it starts raining, all that rain gathers in the mountain, obviously flows down into those tunnels. So that water very quickly will double in size. And on the day that we did the recce, we were actually in full waders, and the water was up to our waists. But lucky enough that from the time of the recce to the time of the shoot, it hadn't rained at all in Cape Town. So the water subsided enough for us to work in there. But still, when the producer arrived, Joel arrived on the first day, he slipped on the moss as he arrived, on his back. He threw out his shoulder. There were crew slipping all the time. We had Auntie Val, June Van Merch, who's a lady in her 60s. And she was, I was worried about her slipping the whole time. Yeah. So we were definitely, we were insured, but it was quite a tough shoot.
Yeah. Now, starting with you, John, let's go around. And what I want to know is, what message would you like to express to everyone about this film? Because I know that it also has a lot of, because it's a South African film too, it's filmed there. So this is absolutely very important film. So I like to thank you, John.
yeah, I would love people to take away at the end of it that South Africans can make cool films, that it's an entertaining heist caper film. People that love the genre, I want them to watch it and go, yeah, that's a cool heist and caper film. I get it. It's set in a world I've never seen before. I've never seen people from the Boer Kaap. I've never heard Guma before. I've never heard the minstrels play in that way. But I got everything, and I loved it, and it was entertaining, and that Cape Town's a cool place, and these kids, these people in this community and this family and this mafioso kind of world that they live in over the generations is cool. I can identify with it. I'm an Italian American, and I get what they're doing there, or I'm somebody from Mexico, and I get what they're doing in Cape Town. So I just want people to say that it's a cool film.
Okay, who's next? Just jump in. I'm picking you because you're the lead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, what is important is the representation, right? Where it's a story that's specifically about a minority group within South African culture, within the fabric that makes up our rainbow nation. So in terms of who the story is about, this little corner of Cape Town, that is the jackpot for me.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I think 100% representation is like a big thing that I want to show people. We want to share our community, share our culture. And then on an international stage, it's just like, a lot of people may have not been to Cape Town, may have not been to South Africa, don't know our people, don't know our vibe. So to kind of showcase that and showcase the city and the beauty of the city and the rhythm and, the feeling that you get. Like, I just want to inspire people to come and check it out. Be like, oh, that should be a destination. I want to visit that place. That's all full of vibes.
I definitely would love to after seeing the movie. I've heard so much about it, from friends and family. They went, and I never had the pleasure of going. But after seeing this movie, I definitely want to have it on my bucket list to go. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
you're
cool.
up, Keenan. You're up. You're next.
I think everybody's touched on it, but I think culture, because it's so rich and sort of colorful in its tapestry and the representation, I think it was wonderfully depicted in this film, and it does give it a sort of authentic voice, together with the music. I think that it just perfectly sort of describes and depicts this culture, and if anything, it should definitely, I would love people to take away from it the fact that we are now on a world stage and we can tell our stories, and this is who we are as a people. So,
Right. Now you grew up in Cape Town, right?
yes.
So how does that feel? Because you're filming in your home.
Yeah, well, we shot in our location in Boer Kaap was, I grew up there as a kid. I went to primary school there. So it was really, I said earlier, it was a sort of a full circle moment for me to be able to walk those streets and shoot on those streets and see a few friends that I might have gone to school with. And it was really something special for me. And I think, I really think that it's such a standalone, it has such a strong voice, because there wasn't anything taken away from the people in the community. It was so well depicted and well rounded that I'm so proud of this film.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You all should be proud. And John, let me ask you a question, because when I watch like Ocean's 11 with George Clooney and Matt Damon, all these crew, and they heist, Vegas and stuff like that, and I think about your movie, which has a lot of comedy and a lot of music, a lot of dancing, which is great. I'm concerned to see if you're writing a part 2. a sequel to this? Is there?
Yes.
Because I don't want to give it away, but that's what I saw anyway.
Yeah. No, that's so cool of you. Thank you, man. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the fun that the guys had in Ocean's 11 is exactly what we wanted to portray in this film. That we also have cool kids in South Africa. This cast of young actors are beautiful. They're talented. They're amazing. Like, that's what we have. And I wanted to take that look that the actors have and put it on a film and hopefully show at a festival like this. So it's a dream come true to have these guys. For me, I always said that this is like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. For me, it's like Keenan and Jaques are those kind of guys. For me, these three are like the cast of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, in Quentin Tarantino's film. Like, it's Shamilla is Margot Robbie, Jaques is Brad Pitt, and Keenan is Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, for me, they're that beautiful, they're that amazing that they should be on that stage. So if you get a feel from this film, that's, for me, is amazing, that it feels like an Ocean's 11, and yeah. So we hope that the world sees it like that too, and we certainly are writing. We're in the midst of Umbrella Men 2.
I hope so. When you first wrote this, was had there been like a lot of changes in the writing over the years? Because you said it took you like 11, 12 years.
Yeah, loads of changes. I mean, in the beginning, the Keenan played when we shot a small a little piece about the carnival, because we were taking to the Cannes Film Festival, and people I knew wouldn't know what the festival was about or what the minstrels were about. So we shot, and Keenan was actually playing a character called Young Yusuf, and Young Yusuf over time developed into Miller's character. So Young Yusuf turned into a female character, which is played by Miller, and and then Keenan then played the role of Joey Rasdeen, who 10 years ago was playing the lead. So Keenan then moved up in the ranks to play the lead, and Miller then took his role and became the female in a role. And it changed a lot. There wasn't, Keisha had huge development. In the beginning, I think Shamilla even read a script where Shamilla wasn't really that involved. She was more like she wasn't reacting to, yeah, exactly. There was this beautiful girl that was in there, but she wasn't as key a role now as she is in the film now. So we gave Keisha far more substance as a character, and that changed a lot. We gave, because now Keisha's amazing in the film. It's pivotal, so she had to play a big role. I think Auntie Val changed a lot. Auntie Val was a very small part. She actually only featured a little bit. She never came into the tunnels. There were a whole lot of tunnel scenes that were cut out, that Auntie Val was actually in the tunnels with us. Unfortunately, it just slowed the film down a little bit, because the guys, once they went a certain way down the tunnel, they realized, Jerome realizes, his character realizes that Monkey Boy has brought a gun into the tunnel. That's the one thing he said, don't bring a gun. And so he knows that there's a double cross on of some sort. So he phones Auntie Val and he backtracks, and he meets with Auntie Val in the tunnel. And they had the whole crew there sitting with her, because they bandaged up Keenan's arm. And so she was amazing in there, but unfortunately we had to cut her out. But initially, a couple of years ago, she wasn't even in the tunnels or at the end of the carnival. So she became a much stronger character. So that changed quite a lot. And then also Jerome's character didn't come from Joburg. He was actually based in Cape Town when his father died. And he just picked up from there. But we wanted to give him more of more substance to his character, that he had gone away, try to make it, and then realized that his place actually was in Cape Town. So that changed quite a bit.
Excellent. Well, I would love to, in this type of film, I would love to talk. I could talk all day with everyone here. I wish we had more time. But here's the thing. God bless this film, and I wish you a lot of luck. And you know what? I'm a type of person that I'm an independent producer and filmmaker myself. So I love pushing this kind of films, and and it's really, you guys did a wonderful job. So there you have it. So September 10th, the International Toronto Film Festival. Everybody, watch this film. It's excellent. God bless you, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Antonio.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.